My name is Gadsden. I'm a security professional. I'm a bouncer by trade. And we're having a book talk tonight. It's not your typical book talk. We've had some of these here at the past and other venues, but this book talk is special only because it's for our friend, Miss Diane Piccinini. Let me give you a little background about what's happened. About 7 weeks ago, we were talking, and she had a real frown on her face. She said, "Gee, I really have a problem." "What's your problem?" He says, "Well, I have a little breast cancer, and I went to human resources with a day job, and they won't cover all of her expenses, her medical expenses." So she was worrying frantically. And I said, "Well, that's what friends are for. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to have a book talk."
Yes.
And the book talk is to provide a donation and raise some of the funds to help defray the cost, because we don't want her to get choked. She's got to get the surgery. And at the same token, during this time, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So fine. So we've been doing collections, and then people say to me, "Oh, gee, Mark, you got to give up $10 as a donation." Yes. Even me. This green bear means I give up my $10. So Bear's been collecting the money upstairs. We've been collecting down here. We're going to have a book talk. We're going to keep it as open as we have in the past. But the main thrust of this is to support our sister Diane. Okay? That being said, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the book. Let's set some parameters. There are no dumb questions. I'm a bouncer, I'm a security professional. I'm going to share some things with you that you may know and that you might not know. I like interaction. So I may say something, you disagree, raise your hand, we can have that interaction, because knowledge is power. Okay? I'm going to cover sections of this book. Second edition, Memoirs of a Bouncer, The Real Men in Black. Gotta tell you something about this book. First one was released in 2006. My sister passed away in 2008, and I was prompted to refresh the book because I got a lot of input from a variety of sources. And one of my friends, Pete, said to me, "Gee, Mark, have you ever Googled yourself lately?" I said, "Google? No. I never thought about it." He said, "Let's Google you now." Come to find out that the book was selling in 4 foreign countries: India, the UK, Netherlands, and France. I didn't even know about it. I called my publisher immediately and said, "Hey, guess what? You owe me some money." "Oh!" And so that was the thrust for the second book. The second edition book, which we have here, was released in June of this past year. So that dedication moved the things forward. We're on the second program, but I give it to God and let Him do the direction on it. So I'm a blessed man to be able to have the opportunity to do this, so we can say every one of our friends, everybody down here is friends or friends of Diane. And it's a blessing for me to be able to have a skill that can have people come together where you can share information and we can help the cause of one of our sisters as well. That's a beautiful thing. So we're going to talk a little bit about bouncers, who we are, what we're about. And we're going to talk about different protocols that we may go through, different things that you may go through in your interaction, whether it's a restaurant, a bar, a lounge, or a club, to let you know what sort of behavior will get you in or out of a club, because we want everyone to stay. Now, in this illustrious audience is Yogi, character in the book. He's a relation to me, he's my son, and he was one of the key factors on the reason why I wrote the first book. When you're a bouncer, you can't tell everybody everything that's happened to you in your life, because most people think that you're crazy. They really do. "Oh man, that didn't happen." And another close friend of mine, he's like my family, is Sergeant Gadsden. He's a character in the book. You can't see him, he's kind of being low around, but we did a book talk at Barnes & Noble. He said, "Oh, gee, you look pretty big as a bouncer." I said, "I'm not big." "Sarge, stand up." I said, "I'll stand up, and if I stand behind him, you don't even see me." So I'm not big. but he's a gentleman as well. So we've gone through a whole lot of stuff. But we used to laugh and joke between ourselves, and I used to tell Specialist K and Yogi about some of the wild, crazy stuff that happened to us, and no one believed us, but they did. So they prompted me, you need to write a book about this, to trying to help people be safe. Our objective is really not to hurt people, so that's really the basis and the platform of this. People have asked myself and Sarge, is there a second book? Yeah, there is a second book. It's all in our heads. It'll come out sometime next year. It's called Memoirs of a Bouncer from the Dark Side to the Dawn. That's all the real funky stuff. Because this one kind of gives you some general directions on how to navigate yourself through an evening so you don't get hurt. The other stuff is some of the things that we didn't really want to mention in the first book. But this book is 37 chapters, so there was plenty enough feeding material for all.